Today is January 27th, 2025. Yesterday in Carrollton, I went out to eat with my boyfriend. There was people in the restaurant. They were talking. They said, we all know that one drug cartel girl has people following around making fun of her. Okay. Well, it's that girl from Faith Alien Church, the one that showed up. February 19. She showed up walking in with a bunch of teenagers. I was early for church, and I'm sitting in there. And a bunch of teenagers come in, and they're loud. And I look back, and she yells out, I'm the one that dates Dave. I turn around, and I look, and she's like, I'm the one that dates her husband. And I'm like, I thought it was Michelle Cowgill, a 50-year-old heavyset woman. Okay? It was so mean to her first husband, I figured him trying to have me killed would serve him right. End up with somebody mean like that. Trying to have me killed for something like that. Look back at him like, what are you talking about? And it just is like being sideswiped of what on earth, you know? And she's going on running her mouth. And it's like, I look back, you don't look 18. Look back, you don't look 100 pounds. Look back, it's like you look like a homeless prostitute. She's like, I can have anybody drugged, beat, and raped. I just have to ask those guys. It's like you're crazy and dangerous. Then she's talking how she spent, now they call the drug cartel guys the boys. How she spent the night with the boys. Okay? And she had their clothes on, that's why she looked so bad. Okay, so I didn't believe her at all. He's 60, she looks very, very young. Under 18. I go to leave with, and the undercover police working my case go to walk out with me. They said, are you, they're talking to each other. Are they trying to set up her husband for going out with an underage prostitute? I thought that. Figured it was a drug scam from the cartel. Okay? And the cop's like, is she even legal? I thought that too. What is she, 15, 16? Yeah. And then the other ones, like I pegged her at 14, 16, 90 pounds. Okay. Now, at first she told people she was Agent Wells' daughter. And then she went, I'm actually Judge Peter's daughter. Okay. Told everybody she was Judge Peter's daughter. Everybody at that church. The guys impersonating the FBI working my case, the big truck guys, the ones outside of church, told everybody they were drug traders from Florida. Okay, they worked for Judge Peter. But where were they from? Florida. Okay. So, I think her lie, where I found out she was telling people I threatened her. I never even laid my eyes on her till church. And I never spoke to her ever. Never even spoke to her. Okay? She was lying on me. Okay? I've never even spoke to her. I think her lie is so big, I bet Dave doesn't even know her. It's coming down to that. I don't believe Dave even knew her. Because December 9th, 18, I taped Dave, and so did the police. I've never caught him with anyone. So there's no one to threaten and no one to be mean to. So it's a lie. Okay? And that's where I heard Danny off in the distance in 23, where I had went to him on Christmas Eve of 22. I confront him about everything. Okay? I tell him, I said, him and Jen, I said, did you know where they kicked in my door on the 6th day up there when we were at the storage unit? Yes. Did you know they set up button cameras? No. Did you know about a shower scene of washing in the other room to make me look weird? No. I said, did you remember the orange, lemon, grapefruit sized bruises all over me? Okay. And I kept throwing up and almost passing out, including from the neighbor, by the second week, and it kept happening. Yeah, I remember. I said, did you know they were drugging me and beating me and telling me to say weirdo stuff? No, I thought you were working too hard and bruising too easy. I didn't think about it. Kids came out of the room, hugged me. Okay? And said, Grandma, is that what's going on? We didn't know. 123, I was getting ready to leave, and we were at this one place. And he still don't know I know. I heard him talking to the rest of the family. I finally went to Dad. Ask him what on earth is going on. He said he had hired some guy named Pete on his own. It was Pete and his men in their home before. Okay? And when she called the FBI hotline for help, some agent showed up at that church, told everyone she called FBI for help. And when she walked off, he talked to her. He didn't call that guy Michelle's dad. He didn't call him Agent John, Agent Will, some agent. He didn't know that agent. We didn't know his so-called, where they're trying to say it was his kid. Unless they're a gay couple, where Agent Willer John's married to the drug dealer Pete from Florida. Yeah, it's sort of hard to have two daddies. See what I mean? He didn't know him. I can probably didn't even know that girl lying. But what did she say? She said she could control the big truckers. Oh, and there was an African American guy who showed up in 18. Short top hat, 50, 60 years old. They called him Keith. Okay? Him and his men told everybody they worked for Michelle. Okay? So did the rest of them. They worked for Michelle. Or Judge Peter. Okay? But where did they say they were from? Florida. See, people got it all twisted around and thought they were from Ravenna. Where were they from? Florida. Okay? So then if you think of the second group that came here, the Texas group, for we all work for the king from Texas. We are his men. Dave hired us. He's a drug lord. You look up the fentanyl king, or look up the king from Texas. He's a fentanyl king. There's real people by what they did say. He's U.S. military, Iraqi translator, went into the dark web malware, fentanyl king. Okay? And if you look up the rest of Judge Peters in Florida, because there's a real one, and where they said out in the mall they were drug traders and human traffickers from Florida and relocating people to a resort area. That's how they put it. They had special order girls of what they were looking for. Okay? They, Maslin, they said they were drug traders from Florida. They were even taking people to Florida to run experiments on them for some doctor. And then 3 Indian guys showed up, and the youngest one was named Henry. And he was with the Florida human traffickers. So was the Henry Moffey, the heavyset, 2 blonde girls, the Michelle and Lauren. They're all with the Florida human traffickers. Okay? Now, if you look up where the article where they had arrested Judge Peters in Florida, there was people from Disney involved, resort area. And there was a pipeline between Florida, Louisiana, and Texas. They were shipping people. They were up here scavenging for people to sell. So, Michelle, in your pathetic, stupid stun of what you did to me, you got your father arrested. 100 other people, and then thousands of human traffickers because you're arrogant stunt. You know, a couple months ago, I was in Bob Evans. I was there with my boyfriend. There was apostolic people there from Laylock's. Turn around, looking at me. Went to say something about the shower scene in the other room. Oh, hell no. Don't you even say anything to me. I know the waitress. The waitress came up, so I started blasting what those reprobate people did to me, had done to me, and how godless they are. And how I never talked to anybody. How Dave hired the drug cartel. And I'd wake up, I'd take a drink out of a drink, the room would go dizzy and black. Wake up with bruises, throwing up. In fact, and I thought it was a dirty well water killing me and never seen or talked to anybody. Found out they drugged me up and told me to say weirdo stuff. And they're turning around. She's talking about it. They were drugging her. Is that how they got her to say that stuff? I never talked to anybody, and I never seen anybody, and I don't think they're fucking funny. Wake up with injection mark, more bruises, throwing up, dizzy, almost passing out, and so severely infected. My personal area, I could hardly pee. They were human trafficking me out of that house. Basically keeping me chemically kidnapped. What was supposed to happen to them by law? Arrested the first day. Now, Michelle, darling, it's ordered by the president for the police to arrest you. You're known to be part of the Florida human traffickers. And the cops are to arrest you. They find out who you are. So it wasn't your cheap stunt of pulling this to get your dad arrested so you could take over the family business, was it? Got to think they sell people for a living and murder them. There's no honor among murderers and thieves. Got your dad arrested, take over the business, honey. But I think her lie is so big that I don't even think Dave knew her. I think the anti-shell they were talking about, where the riffraff laughed at me. Her Dave's girlfriend walked right in front of her and she didn't know who she is. Well, where is that funny? Where's that fucking funny? We're married 33 years. Love him with all my heart. He's making love to me all the time. And then he's going out when he's supposed to be at work, taking his pay time off to pick up some other girl and go out and have sex with her while he's supposed to be working. While I'm at home working either on our home to sell it or setting up our new retirement home. He didn't want me. Why wouldn't he just divorce me? You all stayed out of it. Just guess what? He would have had his $115,000 jobs. He would have had his big house, his friends, his family, his children, his grandchildren. You know what he got? He had to run out of this country, afraid they were going to arrest him. Lost everything. You know what you saved him? Maybe $200 or $300 a month in alimony. That's it. All that for a couple $100 a month in alimony. Start thinking about it, honey. Wasted all this money and time. But what did they do? They caused enough chaos. They were getting away with murder here. Selling people. And people acting like the biggest retards in the world and like they have no common sense. None. None. Thinking it's funny how drug cartels drug beating, raping people, selling videos of them, drugging people for fake confessions, admitting they photoshopped a shower scene or washing in the other room. Huh? And their drug scam, and then hiring these low-life riffraff to make fun of me for being raped and tortured by the drug cartel, human traffic. Like it's funny that they're hurting people. And children are disappearing. Women are disappearing. But it's funny they're getting away with killing people, right? They're that stupid around here. You would have thought we were in a third world country and they had no education. Because we're going to put it this way. Even common sense. You talk to somebody. Well, we all know if the police knock on your door or the FBI, do you have to answer it? No. Why? It's your house. Can they break in the door? No. Unless they have arrest warrant. It's private property. And then you answer the door, may I help you? Can I come in? What can you say? No. Why? Because it's private property. Unless you have a search warrant. No. That's a quarter. So, because of the right to privacy, the right to remain quiet, and the right to an attorney, police and agencies can only be in a home under a threat of life with statements and a quarter. There's no such thing as special permission. None. They don't give you special permission to drug somebody for a fake confession. Photoshop washing. And a drug scam from drug dealers. They don't give drug dealers permission to harm people. We're really not this stupid, people. And run a scam of photoshopping and washing of drug confessions. I mean, that's why they all mock you. And you're the butt of the human traffickers' jokes because you guys fall for the shit. And that girl you're up here, was setting it up here for your daddy, huh? That, or did you get your daddy arrested so you could take over the family business? Because him and a lot of his cohorts went to jail because of your stupid stunt, because they know of him. Because your people told of him. Told everybody about him up here. Well, what did it get him? Arrested. Think about it. What did her stunt accomplish? Got her dad arrested. A whole bunch of other people, too. Made it public what she was doing, and what happened? Your dad got arrested. So did a lot of other people. Because you made your scam public. Okay. The girl, I think, is Michelle, and if I'm wrong, then I don't know who she is. March 18, I had already almost been kidnapped, almost kidnapped, followed and rounded in the attempt to break in where they knew where the security system was, and Dave made the mistake. Okay, we have our house up for sale, and he wants to eat at this one restaurant. Matter of fact, I insisted on it. We went in, and it was almost empty. There's a couple over by the window and a 70-year-old couple. There was an older white guy, 7-ish. He was later on part of the case. Had white hair, wore a white baseball hat, and black glasses. There was an older white lady with white hair with him. And while I'm sitting, the waitress puts us in the next booth next to him. This young blonde girl in khaki denim pants and a little thin t-shirt, blonde hair down to below her bra strap, walks by and goes at me. Sits down, bam, in the back of the booth. I went, Dave, who is that? He's like, I don't know. They start talking about Dave by name. I said, Dave, who are those people? I don't know. Bam! In the back of my booth, knocks me forward. And I'm like, Dave, who are those people? I don't know. Bam! Like a spoiled child. I said, Dave, who are those people? They seem to know you. He said, Karen, I don't know. And she rams her body again. I said, who are those people? He's like, I don't know. And I said, can I sit on your side? Yes. He even told Danny some crazy blonde was ramming her body in the back of Mom's booth. Okay? In 2020 or 21, I was, during the FBI case, I was at Wood Forest on 62. Same blonde girl shows up from March 18. Walks up in khaki denim pants, thin little t-shirt, blonde hair, blow her bra strap. Okay? About 19, 20 tops. Looks at me and says, as if you don't know what's going on, and walked off. I thought, I've seen you before. Where have I seen you? It took me a while to figure it out. It's like you were here 6 months before the case. Oh my God. Think of the 3 sets of mean parents that were harassing me. The ones waiting for me to die for my injuries. Officer Mark and John that worked my case, they'll know who they are. They had sat around the first of the case that up at Apostolic Church of Barberton that Mary's niece was willing to kill someone for the opportunity to date Dave. Dave was excited. He never had anybody willing to kill someone. Okay? Just to date him. Is that Mary's niece? Auntie Shell? Because if that's not her, I don't know who she is. See, I never caught him with anyone. Okay? One of the things that Blaylock's church was saying in that restaurant when I was talking to that waitress, made sure I told her how godless these people are. Oh, they looked like they were going to puke time I got done. This African-American guy was on the phone, started laughing, called someone. Boy, is she letting him have it for what she thinks of those people. Stay out of it. And he said, okay, and he started chuckling. Just sat there and laughed. They had said some guy named Will showed up. Told him that he gave Michelle all my money so she wouldn't have me killed. Your job was to arrest her and get me the fuck out of here. You don't give money to a human trafficker and support it. You can go to jail. Oh, let's see, if you're helping kill U.S. citizens with government money, do you realize how big the charge can be for that one? Willy Poo? And they're like, and she's a cartel. Yeah, I know she's cartel. Now I want you to think, December 18th, 24, the agent that was so mean to me on the phone, that admitted on the recorded line he told on me to all the churches before he talked to me after the hotline. Huh? The one Apostolic Church of Barberton when I walked off. Well, we'll get back to that one. Where I told you, Danny said he had asked Dad what on earth is going on. Oh, Pete has her framed. Da 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 da. Pete don't have anything amiss in him. Never talked to him. Never even had my neighbors in my home. He's one of my black and blue marks. Like the little old white man that showed up the first of the case. came up to me at Wood Forest. For every idle word you tell on us, I'll turn it on you. If you try to leave Dave, I'll list your charm list. I'm like, who are you? He's like, you know that bruise on your leg? I had one of the biggest the size of a lemon. I'm like, yeah. And I've been throwing up that morning. I used sodium pentothal. No, he stuck me with a date rape drug in my sleep. Then something about a wrong nightgown and tushy light. And then threatened me again. You know, went home and had Dave confess I was dressed modestly, didn't own that nightgown back then, and they only seen the back of my knees. He admitted he worked for Dave and he was drugging me up and telling me to say lies. Okay? That's where, in September, I was up in Bueller's, North Maine. Some lady's like, I heard they're supposed to have her saying this, and then another lady shushing her. They drugged her and told her to say it before. Nobody's allowed to say a word. Do I think your ignorance is funny? How many times since 18 have they admitted they drugged me and told me to say everything in the world, and it's not funny to be played with by the drug cartel like that? How would you like to be fine? Come in, wash your hands, make something to eat and drink, go use the bathroom. It's a Diet Coke. Wash your hands, come out and take a drink in the room, go dizzy and black. Hours later, it's like, what on earth? It's so dizzy you can't hardly stand up. You're throwing up. Where did I get the black and blue marks? And then you have a severe personal infection. Wake up with injection marks. The same thing. And to the point you can't hardly go to the bathroom. They were sexually abusing me under drugs. Drugging me up and telling me to say something stupid. Photoshopping shower scenes. Oh, that girl at Faith Family Church admitted she was watching me in the bathroom use it. Her group admitted they were selling kitty porn at my grandkids' school and potty. Under police surveillance. She's a child molester, selling kitty porn. She sells women and children. She's a human trafficker. Okay? Now, December 1824. I'm in Walmart 62. These guys walk in. One yells out, Karen didn't know who Michelle was till January, February 19. No, I made sure of it. I remember him saying that in 19. I told you people she didn't know who she was. I've made sure of it. Still never talked to her. Never even laid my eyes on her till that day she was lying. I bet she was even lying she was dating my husband. So weird that guy said, I made sure of it. She didn't know. Okay? She told me she threatened her, and if she threatened her, I didn't care what they did to her. See, that's what that agent set up at that church. After I called the hotline, they were complaining about him. Okay? And I thought, oh my God, that's the guy that returned my phone call from the FBI hotline. That's him. I've never seen the agent that opened my case. I had never talked to him in person, only talked to him on the phone. And that was the first time I've seen him. Okay? And he said, and she didn't know who she was till then? He said, no, I made sure of it. She told me she threatened her, and she didn't even know who she was. He's like, no, I made sure of it. Okay? He's like, and here I told people I didn't care what they did to her, she was going to threaten her. And she didn't even know who she was. Okay? Let's see. And then he said, I told the drug dealer that no one had ever won her after what he had done to her. I told him, leave her alone. Her Karen's getting remarried again. I knew she had it in her. He confessed he was in it with the drug dealers. See, that's where okay. The other day, on this last Friday, I had went to Maslin, drop off my grandkids at McDonald's. Okay? My boyfriend had a doctor's appointment. And so I was killing time. So I started the whole statement of what had happened to me. And people showed up at Circle Restaurant talking about this. Everybody listened to what happened to her. No one blames her for calling the FBI. See, that agent was trying to tell people that was his daughter. That's not your kid. I extremely doubt it. See, because how the fuck would I know who he is? And how the fuck would I know who his kid is? And Dave didn't even know him. Because it was just some agent. He hired Pete and his men. There was Pete and his men in my home before. He didn't know you. See, that's where she went to say she was Agent Will's daughter. And then she went, well, actually, I'm Judge Pete's daughter. Or Judge Peter's daughter. And see, that's where this last March or April in 24, I went to Faith Family Church. I went on a Saturday night. Oh, the drug cartel's still there. The ones that were following me in 18, they're still there. Law enforcement. Mm-hmm. I go out of my car. They we're gonna call Michelle and tell her you're here. Double dog dare you. It's ordered by the president for everyone associated with the drug cartel to be arrested. Dare you to call her. Anybody who knows who she is, go online, report her to the CIA, FBI, sheriff, NSA, U.S. Marshals. They would love to have her. She's very dangerous. She sells people for a living. She has them human trafficked. She's a serial killer when you realize what she is. Nothing but pure evil. Okay? Everybody turn around. Okay? See, I can go through what happened to me really quick, and it hits levels of not funny. In 2017, we had got a $10,000 plus loan, and we were going to fix up our house and get a retirement home out in the country. Okay? Been married 30 years. 33 years. Okay? 32 at the time. All right. So, we got $4,500 for the back driveway, $2,000 for the upstairs bathroom. He took $500 worth of products back. He got an $1,800 bonus, and all the money disappeared. There was left $6,000. He made $10,000 to $15,000. Our house payment at Lenox was only like $600. We had tons of money. So did he need to steal that money for anything he wanted? No, just tell me you want to take it. Well, I just paid for the renovation slowly as I did them. Yeah. So you don't have to steal when your wife don't care what you buy. Money disappeared. Cars started getting scratched up. Dave worked midnights. And because he worked midnights, I would stay up scraping walls, plastering them, painting them, and stay up till I couldn't stay up anymore, and go to bed or wait till he got home and then go to bed with him at 5 in the morning and then get up by 11, and we'd go run around till he went back to work the next evening. Okay? I actually loved my life. If he was so unhappy, why didn't you just tell me? If he couldn't tell me, didn't have enough courage to go file for a divorce and have it delivered to me. Be a man and not a coward and try to have your wife killed. Well, my car kept getting scratched up and I could hear voices outside, so I couldn't see anybody because it was too dark. But I get up the next morning, a big long scratch down the side of my car. So we got a security system. By fall, I was leaving to work early. I tried to get Dixie to follow him. Thank God she didn't. Thank God she didn't. One day he had looked at my grandson Daniel and Joy. Grandma, now you won't have one after Christmas. Made him cry. He was 10. I had to call Terry and I had to call my mom to calm him down. I kept telling him, cut it out. It's not funny. We weren't even fighting. He called me one night at work, Karen, I'm in trouble. I said, why are you in trouble? I crashed a machine. I said, well, what happens? I have to have a drug test. Why would you have to have a drug? What's a big deal? We didn't smoke. We didn't drink. We didn't do drugs. We were supposed to be Christians. And he's like, you don't understand. I'm in trouble. Well, he got exposed to pot long enough that it was high enough in his system. He got suspended for a week. Okay. I had been fixing up the house, and then I had to get the stuff done for winter. So I tarred around the house, and we had 1938 windows on the basement with plexiglass. You could have pulled it off, slipped down it where the electricity slipped down through the window, and the breaker boxes in the basement. He could turn off the electricity, and they could have came up and killed me. But he came home one night, and I had tarred around the house. Couldn't get the old hose off. Popped it up with a rake, and the tar had sealed that plexiglass tight. Okay. And we get in bed. I turn on the security system. I hear pop, pop, bang, bang. The puppies are screaming on in the basement. I said, you're going to go check now. And I keep looking out, and eventually the puppies calm down, and I climb back in bed. It's like, what on earth was that? Finally fall asleep, get up in the morning. The plexiglass is cracked where they tried to pull it off. Looked like they fell over the rake. The tennis pulled down. Call the Perry police. Makes no sense. You have all these windows. Why would they go through the basement? Dave looked at him and said, they made him, they knew where the security system was. That Perry police officer was in his face. You're part of it. They're individually set up. He said something else, puts him in the middle of it. We weren't even fighting. It's like, what on earth? I looked at him. I said, sir, will you drive by? He's like, oh, ma'am, we'll be driving by. And he got his finger in Dave's face. And I don't believe you just came home from work and someone tried to break in your house and you didn't even bother to get up and your wife's laying the next day. Oh, he was telling him off. And he stormed off. Stop him. Okay. Well, come Christmas of 2017, my oldest son, John, his wife at the time was Melissa. Her family was up from Florida. The kids wanted brand new bikes, so we had bought them bikes, and we took them over, and nobody was home, so we got a hold of them, and they said we could leave them inside in the kitchen. Had great big, huge homemade name tags, okay? Tied to each one, and we left their gift cards. Christmas Eve, we come back over, they're having buffet dinner, and they're making fun of Dave for having pot in his system like he didn't know what it was. And I asked him, did you like your bucks? And they said, why would we thank you? Some other lady in the church bought them. Okay. Well, come March, our house is up for sale. Bill German wasn't always in there. He let me show it. I had over an hour and a half before I had to show it. You don't want to cook or anything for, you have people to look through your house. And I told Dave, I said, I'm going to drive out to Bell and get some coffee. He's like, well, let me know when you're ready. I said, well, give me 10 minutes. So I hurried up and took care of the puppies, got changed. And I said, hey, I'm leaving. He's like, Karen, I want you to go Lincoln Way. I said, why would I go Lincoln Way? I go down to Avis behind Watson School or Avis to Bailey and to Genoa. You have to go across Charles Street. Why would I want to go up and back down? That doesn't make any sense. I said, go Lincoln Way. And he starts screaming at me. We lived there 25 years. I can jump Lincoln Way if I have to. Don't like to, but I can. And I said, fine, I'll go Lincoln Way. It was a setup. I go pull up there. It's open. I'm like, sweet. I jump 5 lanes. There's a car sitting there at Avis. It jumps 5 lanes and gets right behind me. It's like, that's weird. The other lane's open. I move over. He moves over. And I go to turn down at Genoa. He goes to turn. And it clicks in my head. They knew where the security system was. I'm like, if this is not my imagination, that he's following me because he's making every move I am, I'm going to turn back at Bailey. And I'm going to go down Genoa to Bailey, turn back. And if it's still following me, I'll call 911 or find somebody home. I had just got a bigger SUV within like a month. And I got stuck at the corner of Bailey and Genoa. I had my foot on the brake, the wheel turn left. One car goes by, 2. He rams me they said he was doing over 45 when he clipped the back end of my car and got stuck between me and the building. He had to floor it between the light and where I was at. And the Perry police wouldn't let me go home because he knew I was up to something and couldn't prove it. Okay? Well, either that day or within a few days, I go over to Danny and Jen's. And Kaylee's there. I said, well, you know about Savannah. It's like, I know of her, but I don't know her. What do you mean you don't know her? Why would I? Our parents went to that church a long time ago. They had went to that church in 1984. It's 2018. They only came visited maybe 4 or 5 times. I know of her children, but I don't know them. And I said I never had trouble with her parents before. Matter of fact, when we seen them at church, because they're just people we knew from 30 years ago. Hi, how are you? How's your kids, your grandkids? Nice to see you. Plain conversation, move on. They're just somebody you knew 30-something years ago. Okay? She said, what do you mean you don't know her? I said, why would I? I mean, she's an 18-year-old kid, sits with her parents. I know of her, but I don't know her. Why would I? And she looks at me like I'm stupid. Okay? And she's like, well, that baby girl she has of her? The baby daddy is a big drug dealer. What does that have to do with anything? Drug cartel. Went home, took the hint, looked her up, and the guy that followed around to me was her Facebook friend. It's like, what the fuck are you doing involved in this? Okay? Alright. So, I go to help Terry clean out our apartment. And, I worked there for hours for free, bought her totes, organized everything in the extra boxes. We were going to be moving, so she was helping me load them up in my car. I have my trunk open. A white van pulls up. Side door goes open. Tall white man with black hair, grayish white hoodie, jeans, white tennis shoes, hood up over his head. I got her. I'm like, go back in the building. She picks up her walker. At that time, almost runs. I already have the stuff in my hands. I throw it in the trunk. I slam it down, run around my vehicle, look up, make sure she's got in. Look back, he's still bolting at me. Jump in. Start my car. Throw it in reverse. He hits the back of my car. She got away. And I floored out of there. And that white van chases me for a while, and I finally lost it. Okay? And she's standing at the door as I peel out, their mouth open. Okay? We kept changing dates of the houses. So I didn't want to pay $1,000 to move from Massillon to Ravenna It's 30 something miles away. I didn't want to pay $1,000. And since they kept changing days of the houses, I found a cheap storage unit, Green. Started loading the houses. My house into a storage unit and at Danny's. We were lucky enough to close on the same day. It was late in the evening when we got in. They gave us the code to the lockbox and we got in. Okay. All right. So, by the third day, or the second day up there, I want to get curtains for the basement so it looks lived in. We went down, got a load from Danny's in the evening. Truck and trailer in my car packed. Went down to Maslin Walmart. John and his kids are in there, my oldest, and they're little. So they come running at us. Grandma, Papa, what you doing here? And I'm like, buying curtains for the basement. What are you doing? I don't know. Woman and I pass each other. We walk out, and there's a white car right next to mine. Starts up as we walk out. He said, hey, I'll follow you. Well, he has a truck and trailer. He always makes me follow him. And I'm always worried something's going to fall out, so I wasn't going to argue with him. It was another setup. On the narrow way back from Maslin, it's dark. It starts to rain. The white car's ahead of me, and all of a sudden it turns completely sideways. Blocks the whole road. You can't get around on the other side. I'm like, Dave, this guy just blocked the whole road. He goes to step out, jeans, cowboy boots, tall, white man with black hair. And same profile as I got her. And I'm like, Dave, this guy's getting out. What is he doing? And then he goes to reach something back in to grab something off the dashboard. I'm like, oh my God, Dave, I think I'm getting carjacked. I throw my car into reverse. And I'm like, Dave, where'd you go? I turned down a side road. What do you mean you turned down a side road? I'm flooring it backwards. And by the grace of God, another car started coming towards us. You could see it, headlights, put it on bright, right in the guy's face. He's blocking the whole road. He steps back in his vehicle, straightens it up, and peels out of there. I wail. I'm screaming, where are you? He don't catch up to me for 12 miles. Dixie told me that he laughed to her, that he knew I was getting carjacked, and he left me on purpose. During the case, she told me. The police have her confession of him telling her that. Okay? He set me up to get carjacked, and it was foiled. By the third day, he's so mad I'm not dead. We go down to get a storage unit, stuff out of our storage unit, my bed. A little bed slot, a 1x3 board a child could pick up, by 5. He acts like he can't pick it up. I'm like, come on now, I could pick that up. Picks it up and whacks me in my face, breaks several teeth. I'm spewing teeth and blood. Why? You'll learn not to smart off to me. He runs, jumps in my car, and takes off. Okay? According to the neighbor, 4 or 5 houses down, he drives a silver car, older white guy with white hair. Showed up in last of 21, beginning of 22. David, when he took off, he showed up in a store in Ravenna, screamed out, I don't want my wife anymore. Will you all help get rid of her? And all the people in the store of Ravenna agreed to help. They didn't even know me. Brand new to that area. They agreed to help get rid of me and harm me. Drug dealers were in that store that day. That's how I hired Pete. By the 6th day, we're at the storage unit again. We come home and our door is kicked into the wall. Line up the doorknob to the wall, scratch off the paint. There's a big patch. We come home And I'm like, what on earth? It's literally knocked into the wall. He's like, another realtor probably told, passed out keys. They don't pass out keys, they keep it in a lockbox. And we took it out the first day. They had to kick our door into the wall to get in our home, to set up their stalking cameras by the drug cartel. By the second week, I was getting dizzy, headaches, throwing up. We had to get a water treatment system. We brought in bottled water to cook and drink, but the well water was orange, and I thought maybe it had like E. coli or something in it. We had to test and it had high levels of iron. And but you have to wash your hands, you have to shower. And I thought it was killing me just showering in it. For God knows why reason, I went out to mow the lawn, half drugged up. Probably was going to do it before they drugged me again. And my heart's racing through my neck and I'm collapsing. What is wrong with me again? And the neighbor comes running over. Can I help you? I don't know what's wrong with me. I'll mow your... He said, I'm a nurse. Can I help you? I don't know what's wrong with me. I'll mow your lawn for you. I don't know what's wrong with me. I kept saying it. I don't have money to pay you. Neighbors don't pay each other. And he finally talks me into letting him mow my lawn, and it kept happening. I'd be perfectly fine, go out and work in the yard, come in, wash my hands, make something to eat and drink, and it'd be a Diet Coke. Go and use the bathroom, wash my hands, come out, take a drink, and the room would go dizzy and black. Hours later, it's like, what on earth? Bruises on me, throwing up, massive headache. I don't remember banging my arm or leg. Swollen personal infection. Wake up with marks that look like injection marks. More bruises. Orange, lemon, grape-sized bruises. It hurts so bad, my muscles. And I'm so severely infected. They were sexually abusing me under drugs up there. I'm going to the doctor. What on earth is wrong with me? I got all these bruises. Did you fall? No, maybe you're coming in anemic. Give me iron pills and muscle relaxers for the pain. I have a migraine headache. And I've been throwing up. I'll get you some for a headache and throwing up. I said, the well water's really dirty. I'm showering in. I can't hardly pee. And I was so swollen, I had to be on pills and creams. Here I'm being drug beat and raped by the drug cartel. Kept happening on and off. Lost 18 pounds in 2 months. Okay? August 8th of 18, I had a light in the security system. Midnight, I called 911. The sheriffs that came out were silly. Said, ma'am, it looks like an alien or an angry spirit. I'm like, sir, it's hot out there. I thought he was dehydrated. I offered him water. Ma'am, we can't drink anything on duty. We're not allowed to use the bathroom. I said, sir, you can use the bathroom. I'll give you some water. I'm like, the poor soul's dehydrated because who the heck talks like that? And he's like, you know how we handle it here in the country, ma'am? We buy big dogs and let the dog handle it if somebody comes on our property. They don't want bothered. It was probably one of those idiots coming over to rape me at Sac. September 3rd to 6th. September 6th was our anniversary. But Dave would take 3 or 4 days off around our anniversary. We would do extra chores around the house that needed done. And we'd take a day or two, maybe go to the mountains, go fishing. It was our anniversary, spend time for us. Okay? Everything's done on the house but the flower beds. And he wanted this overpriced mulch. Okay? And it's 80 plus degrees. He didn't even want to go to church. He's out screaming stuff at me. And he starts yelling, I'd rather have Katie brothers than you. Well, she dates my brother-in-law, Tim, for over 20 years. My sister Linda, that's how I ended up getting thrown out of church, was because of her following her cheating husband. One day she was out. She caught Tim and Katie together. And she started following him. She didn't have enough courage to say anything to him. None of us thought she had it in her to go out and work and support herself. And so we just acted stupid. If she's not going to confront him, she's not going to divorce him, and none of us think she has enough in her to go out and support herself and work, we're just going to stay out of it. Just act stupid. She's not going to do anything about it. It's none of our business. Okay? And so that's where in November of 2003 she came up to me. I was following him again. I got caught. I thought it was you. I think they thought it was you. I'm sorry. Be careful. Well, Strange made up that baby lie by Sunday. Pushed Danny to suicide and got rid of me real quick. She cost me a lot following that idiot. Now, they've dated on and off for 20 years. But he said that. I looked at him, I said, "Whoa, you want another woman? I'll take my things and leave." He's like, "You're not allowed to leave. Jack and I had this plan since March." Well, he's crazy. He'll break your teeth. He'd be good to me for a year and a half. First day he had a bad day, he'd beat the hell out of me and then be sorry and then be good to me for another 2 years. That's not sorry, that's control. I know that now. I lived like that for 33 years. Loved him with all my heart. That's not love, that's control. Okay? So I started looking for a job, got hired at Advanced America because I have a couple years of retail banking and about 3 years of loan processing. Little loan companies love my resume. Okay? I got hired as an assistant manager. Annie, the district, went to send me up to Dare Road in Twinsburg. She called me on the way up there. I'd rather meet Streetsboro's manager. So I put it in my GPS. I'm new to the area. Make sure I go to the right store. Go have my interview. I get home. Now I live 10 something miles out of town. Middle of farmland, then in the middle of a giant woods. There's not even street lights on the road. Okay? So I'm sitting at the end of my driveway. It's raining again. And I'm talking to my mom. And I'm trying to get off the phone with her so I can get my mail because my mailbox is across the street. And all of a sudden, Annie calls in. "What's your problem?" I said, "What do you mean, what's my problem? You were mean to Pam." "Who's Pam?" And she starts telling me off. I said, "You sent me to the other store." She keeps yelling at me. And I hang up on her. Dave, well, when I was talking to my mom before that happened, Dave called me. Beeped in while I was talking to my mom. Said, "Karen, why are you sitting at the end of the driveway?" I said, "Dave, you home?" He's like, "No, I'm at work." And I'm looking around. There's no one around. We only had 3 outside cameras. One to the side yard, one to the front porch, and one to the back porch. Nothing to the end of the driveway. I have nothing traced me in my phone. He's like, I'm like, "Dave, why wouldn't you think I'm somewhere else? Karen, I know you're at the end of the driveway." "Why won't you go in the house?" I said, "Dave, that's not funny." And I'm looking around, there's no one. He kept saying, I said, "Dave, why wouldn't you think I'm somewhere else?" That's when Annie calls in and screams at me and I hang up on her. Call my mom back. She's like, he's up to something. I said, I know he is. Okay? This is September 17th or 18th of 18. Okay? Go up the next day to Twinsburg. I want to meet the person who cost me that job. And the assistant manager is sitting in there with the district manager, Annie. I walk in, she's like, well, you know Karen. He's like, I've never met this woman before in my life. She's like, but what you said, I know what I said, and it wasn't her. I said, you sent me to the other store. I told you. And she goes on and on and on and going back and forth. He said, I've never seen this woman before. I looked at her, I said, you sent me to the other store. By the way, I'm Karen. It's nice to meet you. I've never been here. She tries to give me my job back. It's already ruined. And so I didn't take it. Okay. Okay. Now, I had called Terry. She still doesn't know I know. I needed her to witness for the attempted kidnapping. I never said anything. I call her. Some ladies cost me this job. Okay? We're on the phone talking. She's watching this lady's kid for $10 an hour in a tiny apartment. Leaning up the counter, put me on speaker. She's like, you want to come down to church for prayer tomorrow? I felt tight. I said, I think I'll pass. Well, I'll step in for you. Well, I've done really nice things for her for years. Bought her tires, had Dave fix her rotors, bought her brakes, stuff like that. Took her food, took her places. Been very good to her. Okay? I hear her knocking. She's like, Karen, she's here. I'll let you go. And I thought, I wonder if that's the lady that cost me my job. $5,000-$6,000 disappear from a safe. Is that who he's cheating on me with? I thought, oh, listen, for a moment. She walks over to, I can hear her walk over the door, open the door. Guess who was on the phone with? You're kidding. I almost tricked her into coming down to prayer, where those two guys would show up and take care of her. You know they pay people to know where she's at. I could have used the money. Okay? I'm like doing this. They actually have this. The riffraff actually has a phone call. Had her on speaker, holding my mouth, rivers of tears. And it's not like anyone in the church would have ever helped her. Well, that's about as bad as, and she even says, I even told her I'd step in for prayer for her, as if I couldn't believe it came out of my own mouth. The woman I've done all this stuff for over the years. Tears, rivers of tears running down my face. Okay? The other girl goes, well, that's about as bad as Kaylee. She used another minister because Keith charged too much money. Well, you know who was in the meeting to hire those two men to kill her? It's Keith Bishop, Stranger Ron. And they took up $25,000 to have her murdered or have her killed because Ron wants her dead for her getting well the year his kid died. And I gasped and I hung up. She still don't know right now. Rivers of tears. Okay. Dave on September 20th or 21st, about 3 o'clock in the morning, he grabs my head, squeezes me, kisses me. I love you, but I love her more. I'm so sorry, Karen, you have to die for her. I hired a man to slit your throat, stab you in the heart. You'll bleed out, Karen. But you have to die. For us to get everything, kept saying it, pushing my face into the bed. I could hardly breathe. And in the cold, dark night, holding me down like that. Kept saying it, but I got a man to put a bullet in you if you run. Kept squeezing me and kissing me and saying it. And then he rolled up over and got up and went to work. It was no vivid dream. He was much awake. I laid there and shivered. Next morning, I called John. What on earth is going on? He's like, Mom, I would have punched him. I would have punched him. I said I was afraid if I moved, he'd kill me with his own bare hands. Well, September 21st, 18, I'm walking around Giant Eagle. What am I going to do? It's been them the whole time. I'm too stupid to figure it out. Now I'm out in the middle of nowhere and I know nobody. He calls me. I'm at Giant Eagle, the pop aisle. Where are you at? I'm buying something for dinner. I got a phone call to make. Don't go. I tried to call him back, he won't answer. I look up, they're giving flu shots. It's like I better get a flu shot. I don't even know where I'll end up. I got a flu shot, sat down on the bench. I hear the voice. I can't believe she's here. Same one as I got her. When she got away, it sounds like him. Oh my God, he's here. I'm scanning, I don't see him. I was already dizzy when I sat down on the bench. Stood up. He walks up behind me. I'd stab her right here now if it wasn't for that security guard. I had to catch my breath. I was already dizzy. And the lady's like, why don't, aren't you going to stab her and get it over with? I won't make it out for that security guard. I turned my car right into the bank out in front of someone. Won't open an account. Pizza Hut lady, older blonde lady with white hair, walks up to the mail banker standing next to me. I get paid to watch her. Lady, stay out of it, he yells at her. No, I get paid to watch her. He's like, lady, I mean it. You stay out of this. It won't be worth it in the end. And he's screaming at her till she walks off. And I look over and a tall white man with black hair walks off too. And my phone instantly rings. It's Dave. And I put him on hold. As that mail banker slamming stuff on the ground, on the counter. How dare she? And I'm froze. I don't know if they have somebody with another knife, if they have a gun on me. And I just froze. You got my account open real quick. I got in the middle of a group of people. Got my car, drove 20 miles. Freaking out 20 miles. Got out at Walmart, 62, an African-American lady spit in my face, and her white boyfriend was harassed me. It was either that day or within a few days of that. That's when the What a Shame guy showed up. White man, black hair, dark eyes, eagle tattoo. Walks up to me at Wood Forest like a dead animal. What a shame. And just kept staring at me. I think he had contacts in. Because he had no light in his eyes. He kept staring at me. Got away from that freak. Got home. Dave said, I want you to come to the end of the driveway. My girlfriend's rich and powerful. Her family owns the police. You will not be able to withstand. I looked right at him. I said, it's not a communist country. Nobody owns the police. My whole family knew all this was going on, okay? My sister Pam had been saying, you better call the FBI on them. They'll take care of Dave in those churches. They can't threaten you, and they can't have these people trying to harm you. They'll take care of him, Karen. That's the whole reason why I called the hotline. I took a few days, and I prayed, and then I had to wait for me to have time alone to call him. And then I called the FBI hotline. And once I called the hotline, cried my eyes out, we'll have an agent call you back. The next day I could hear the phone ringing. And I let it go to voicemail. I couldn't wake up all the way. Rivers of tears running down my face. I kept saying I can't. And I woke up later. I was doubled up. Doubled up, holding on the wall to the bathroom, to the refrigerator. Got back in bed, listened to the voicemail. This is agent, da-da-da, call me back. I can't, and I fell back to sleep. Second day, I'm not much better. Third day, I made myself get up. I'm holding my head. What's wrong with me again? I feel drunk, and I don't drink. They were drugging the hell out of me. Keep me so stoned up there so I wouldn't know what they were doing. Like this investigator said, when the case first started, we found out Karen's ex-husband was keeping her so drugged up, they were drug beating, raping her. And she wasn't realizing what was happening, neither did my doctor. Nobody thought of a rapist. They said it was some judge up there messed up in the drug cartel and everybody stay out of it, and saying it's just some guy saying he's a judge. The real judge was from Florida, honey. You had to listen to him. Okay? I got enough air in my face, and I called one of my witnesses, and that I gave the hotline. Of course, she had witnessed for me. I go out and buy a car, put that agent's number in it, made an excuse to go down the mall for church. We dropped it off. I went up to Apostolic Church of Barberton, and it is documented by the police. The agent that returned my phone call from the hotline is the one that told all the churches before he talked to me. We walk into Apostolic Church of Barberton. Paul Paymer in front of hundreds of people. My God, I had an FBI agent in my office. He's right there. I walk off. How dare you bring the FBI up here with threats on her life? Women walk up. He knows she's being drugged, being raped, and he said he didn't care. I'm covered in bruises, lost 18 pounds, severely infected, thinking it's a dirty well water giving me cancer. Never seen her talk to anybody. You talk about scary movie shit? I go in and I sit down, they follow me. He knows she's being drugged, beaten, raped. And he said he didn't care. And then he says, strangest 15-year-old baby lie to cover up Tim and Katie. If she was faking, she was sick before. A 15-year-old baby lie. And it was a medication error, medical malpractice, almost killed me. After a bunch of surgeries and my muscles locked up. Okay? And if she was going to be mean to women, he didn't care what they did to her, and he was going to turn her back over to them. Can you imagine an agent saying that? Think of a federal police officer saying he don't care about human trafficking victims. He don't care about rape victims. He don't care that the drug cartel are basically kidnapping people in their own homes and human trafficking them out of their own homes. A federal cop don't care about victims. Dave comes in, let's go. We get in the truck. How dare you call the FBI on me? I ought to kill you myself. I actually yelled back at him. I said, what did you expect me to do with all these people threatening my life and people trying to harm me? What did you expect me to do? He's like, I ought to kill you myself. And he goes for a loaded gun in the council. I put my hand on it. He punches me all the way home. I almost jumped out on the highway. Ran from him. Next day, rivers of tears. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. I called that agent. I said, someone told on me before. You liar. I tell him about what happened at Giant Eagle. About the guy threatening to knife me. You liar. And he said, was there a camera above the bench? I don't know. I tried to stay alive that day. It was his job to find the damn camera. He's like, I said, I don't know. He's like, you say you're lying, I'll arrest you. Talk about obstructing justice and tampering with a witness. There's badgering laws. I said, I don't know. And I said, well, he tried to kidnap me before. Oh, come on. Even if a church person seen him, they would never verify it. Well, Terry did, and let me tape her. And my phone's popped from the case he starts after this. And the police recorded his description. That's why there's badgering laws. He's one of the kidnappers for the Florida human traffickers. He said, oh, come on now. Even if a church person seen him, they'd never verify it. He said, I've met with that family in my office. What the fuck were they doing there? Her father ran a stop sign in the middle of me getting well. I wasn't even there. I was at home with my whole family, Brian had to come tell us that he ran a stop sign into a semi, killing himself and his their son. I had nothing to do with it. It's strange making up a baby lie on me 6 months later had nothing to do with them. So why didn't he arrest him for being part of trying to have somebody killed and did his damn job? No, he made fun of the rape victim. He's like, I met with that family in my office and all those church people. Why didn't you arrest all the church people and do your job? And I know they're trying to kill you because you were faking you were sick and faking you got well while that family was grieving. We're on a recorded line. What did he just confess to? He told on me. Conspiracy to commit murder is a federal crime. An attempted murder is a federal crime. So why didn't he do his sworn duty? I said, look, I really was sick before. You liar. Now you either say you're lying or I'll arrest you. I said, what? He said, I said I'll put you in jail. Now you either say it or else. It's like, fine, whatever. Ha, 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 ha. Now I want you to say you were faking you were sick before. Well, that's ridiculous. I almost died from medical malpractice. And I said I really was sick before. Now, I've met with that family in my office and all those church people. I know they're trying to kill you. And he said, strangers lie to cover up Tim and Katie. And he said, because you were faking you were sick. And I said, I really was sick before. You liar. You need to realize what you've done. And I don't blame him for trying to kill you. He was aiding and abetting murder on a recorded line. I said I really was sick before. He's like, you say it or I'll leave you there. They'll try to kill me. So they've tried to kill me. So say it or I'll leave you there. Please don't let them kill me. I start begging this bastard for my life. And he's like, say it or I'll leave you there. And I was like, fine, just don't let him kill me. Ha, 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 ha. What did he just confess again? He told on me. It was him. Where they said in October, November 22, at Trinity Gospel, the agent that returned her phone call from the FBI hotline is the one that told on her to all the churches for calling the FBI hotline before he talked to her. It's verified by the police. It was him. Okay? He's like, why would the FBI help a person like you? Well, they're going to try to kill me. So, they've tried to kill me. So, the other agent yells out the drug dealer, the rapist's name. The human trafficker's name. The one that's running a drug scam on me. Name. I've never met him. We could always use Pete's tape of Weird With Yourself, the shower scene in the other room. Okay? Where January 5th, 25 and Walmart 62, the cops scream out, they always knew. The Weird With Yourself was a photoshopped of washing yourself in the shower. And they had drugged me and told me to say it before. They have already told everyone they always knew that. And then these people confess they did it. It's that stupid at this point. It's like beating a dead horse. And I said, what are you talking about? Now, the only Pete I know is my brother in Medina. Hadn't seen him in a couple years, talked to him on the phone. So it's what on earth are you talking about? He's talking about my rapist. And I said, I don't even know who he's talking about. Then he says something else, and it's another black and blue mark. I've never talked to him. I said, what are you talking about? He's like, stop. She don't know. And then he said, well, I bet you're going to say you don't know anything about this doctor selling your information. They can't sell your information. It's another drug cartel scam. No doctor of yours can even talk to them. They can't testify against you in court. It's HIPAA violations, right to privacy. It's 1 to 5 years, $250,000 fine. Like the police said, we always knew he wasn't a doctor. Where Altman Hospital, December 31st, 23, denounces them that they had some guy impersonate a doctor from Altman Hospital. Okay? I would own him. You can sue him for $1.5 million fine. $1.5 million thing they have to compensate you for talking about you. And they get a $250,000 fine and 1 to 5 years in jail. That's how much they can't talk about you. Okay? Okay? I said, what are you talking about? Why had some lady use my insurance for 15 years? I argued with the insurance companies. We got stuck with the co-pays. There was some lady with 2 little girls, I found out. Even Altman Hospital called me, wanted to talk about some kind of stay in the hospital. I told them I stayed in there in years. You see Dr. So-and-so, never heard of him. I told them about this lady's been using my insurance for up to 10 years. I said, well, we talked. On the phone, or we talked. Don't you remember? I said, ma'am, I've never talked to you. Well, you have 2 little girls. I said, I have 3 boys. I told you some other ladies using my insurance. My dad gave Dave a job, and within the first year, and right away we started getting bills from doctors I'd never seen, hospital stays. She robbed Dave and I of tens of thousands of dollars, like my over 15 years. Hospital stays, procedures. Kay McMillan told Dave that if he didn't pay it, the copays, that a heavy-set, round white woman was showing up at the factory, and people complained that they thought he was cheating on me with her. He probably had her before we were married, and he probably had just married me so he could get out of poverty, because he didn't have a job. He was working for $80 a week. And Tim's bragging how he can make almost $1,000 a week. So more than likely, he married me to get out of poverty. He just brought his old girlfriend along. Okay? And I thought maybe it's one of her bills. No, it's just a setup. I said, I don't know what you're talking about. Stop. She don't know. And then he starts saying stuff. Why would the FBI give me a... okay, we did the doctor thing. He said, first, he said, give me a real reason. And I said, I told him about my brother-in-law, Craig, that died working for the government. He said, first of all, have you talked to any law enforcement about threats on your life? I said, the only 2 cops I talked to were the 2 silly cops on August 8 of 18 came out light security system, alien orb, or angry spirit, by a dog or let a dog handle it. They didn't want bother. You're kidding. I said, no. I said, matter of fact, I've never had my neighbors in my home. I've only had repair guys and family. Is that what's going on? He said, and another thing, do you know if Dave is cheating? I said, well, I've never caught him with anyone. He starts laughing to the other guy that was making fun of me. He's like, she said she never caught him with anyone. Why is that funny? We're married 33 years, and he's out cheating on me while he's supposed to be at work while I'm either renovating a house or fixing up a new one. Why didn't he just divorce me? Go on with his life. He still had everything. Paid a little bit more alimony, that's it. So why is that funny? It's not. And he said, well, I could take you somewhere and leave you. It comes with no money. I don't have any money to start. He said, I could open an informant case if you agree to get me information on Dave and the churches. Oh, I could do that. He said, I'm opening a card with $5,000 a month. Do you know when you can come down and pick it up? I don't know when I'm going to be able to get down there. He said, you'll have a life of peace as an informant. Nothing legally stated, dated against you again, and only for you would we do this for. We'll always put it back as if it never happened. You can't be legally charged for anything again for working this case. Without this craziness, I had 1 traffic ticket in '89. I paid my ticket. Okay? He said, admit to no wrongdoing, and I'll take care of everything in the end. But if you try to tell someone, the FBI won't help you, and I'll list you crazy. I told the Stark County Prosecutor's Office that. The one guy I know from there laughed till he cried. Tears trickling. He's like, first of all, only thing legal that agent did on that whole phone call was list your informant with money and immunity. You get the money for working the case and only for working the case, and risking your life to get them information. He can't make up restrictions he don't have authority to say. He can't ask anybody to stay quiet. He's only a hired police officer. I said, well, you confessed he told. He can't tell on you, but due to the freedom of speech, you can tell whoever you want, and he can't open his mouth to you. And the police know that. He can't bully you into false statements. And he was only bullying you to get away with this. No sitting judge would sign his own arrest warrant of taking your freedom of speech away outside a jury trial. The police know that. He was only bullying you. And you can't tell people they can't help you. He can't withhold your money. He cannot misdirect it. It's for risking your life to get them information. You don't realize, Karen, you're in one of the many witness protection programs. Informants are different. You stay yourself, you feed them information, you get paid for risking your life to get them information. He can't make up restrictions he don't even have authority to say. He said you will get the money for the rest of your life and you will stay in immunity the rest of your life. He said, and until the FBI puts you in another witness protection program, you'll stay an informant for life, for the life of peace. I'm stuck in limbo. I don't do anything wrong anyways. It's like giving it to a nun. I'm very boring without these people. I like boring. Boring's normal. My whole life was taking care of Dave, or either working and taking care of Dave, the kids, the grandkids. Going fishing with Dave, shooting with Dave. Going out to eat. Going on romantic vacations. Going fishing. Going boating. I love my life. Going for long walks. I had a very sweet, peaceful life. I did. I love my life. Like they said, until that guy Pete started messing with her, they said she was really happy. I love my life. Yeah. Now, then even think of the scenario. He's told everybody, confessed he told everybody, but then tells me I can't say nothing. It don't work that way. Seriously. Like my friend from the prosecutor's office, he's only bullying you so they get away with this. I talked to a criminal attorney, said the same thing. So did the Portage County, when I told the Portage County sheriffs about these people saying they were in my home. That's illegal. Told them about the bruises on my leg. They claim they had sodium pentothal reports. That's illegal. Shower scene in the other room. That's illegal. That's where the criminal attorney, Dave, can't hire Peter or anybody on his own, and no one could be in your home before. So the prosecutor's office is a big fraud scheme. Officer Reinhardt Louisville. Even the FBI would go to jail outside that protected life case with statements that agent had agreed to protect you and have statements of threat of life. He also had to have a court order, or they'd go to jail. Illegal monitoring is a federal crime. It's a felony invasion of privacy. And you got racketeering of drugs, rape, threats. Trying to extort money, sextortion of taking naked pictures of people without their permission, trying to find out personal information on them, trying to get them in trouble or extort money. That's sextortion and cyberstalking. They're federal crimes. By federal law, all these people were to be arrested the first day. And then you think about what those Blaylock Church said. Some guy named Will showed up and said he gave some girl, Michelle, all her money so they wouldn't kill her. You were to arrest her and give me my money and get me the fuck out of here. That agent, where they have been saying he stole all the money the first day. I talked to Sheriff David Mike DeWine's cousin. He said, he's so arrogant with you. He has stolen, he said if they go back through his cases, he's been stealing for a long time. And he's got away with it. Now he's got to the point, he's arrogant with you. He's doing it in front of people and daring the law enforcement to do something. He is so arrogant, he's doing it in front of people now. What is wrong with your local police? They have not arrested him. You know, the police that worked my case came up to me in Walmart 62 when the case first started. That agent told us that he was so mean to you on the phone because he wanted to make sure you were not part of the people defrauding him, trying to defraud him. He knew everything was photoshopped and drugged, and he wanted to make sure you weren't part of it. And when they went to say something about their scam, they couldn't believe these people were trying such a scam with him. That's why they lost it, started laughing at you. And he was bullying you, trying to keep you out of it so he can go after him. That's what he told the cops. See, that's where even the Hartville police, people were talking about the Hartville police told everyone not to say a word to me. That that agent had told him that he was only acting this way to go after the drug dealers. And they got all those drug dealers off this case, and he still didn't pay me. And they think he lied to the police. Oh, he set you guys up big time. You need to get him. He confessed with his own words he's in it with the drug cartel, making bets over this. And he's confessed to other people. He gave the drug cartel my money. And he's stealing from the government and feeding the drug cartel. Yeah, baby. I like my money. If my money, Officer Mark or John, if you go down to the Stark County Drug and Task Force in the courthouse at Canton, FBI office, where he said my card would be in my file if it's not there, he took it. And he did steal it. If not, would you bring it to me? I'm scared of a lot of people, but I'm not scared of you guys. I'm one of my regular guys. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. I'm not scared of the U.S. Marshals either. They're badass. They showed up in 2023. We'll take care of them. Can you imagine that agent said he left her there? He actually left her there, and he said it's because she's weird with herself. He lied to the U.S. Marshals. He lied to them. Flat out lied to him. That's where January 5th, 25. What is this? Another FBI agent? Lied to the U.S. Marshals she was weird with herself? We always knew it was Photoshop or washing yourself in the shower. And they had drugged her and told her to say it before. We always knew that. When I got the agent over a case taped, that he let all this happen. He's claiming that was his kid at that church. I don't believe him. She went to say she was Agent Wells' daughter, but then she said, I'm actually Judge Peter's daughter. And where were they from? Her and the drug cartel? Florida. Unless you're a gay couple, that's impossible. The agent over a case said he let all this happen because he thought she threatened his daughter, his daughter. And he just found out she didn't even know who she was. I don't believe that was his daughter. I think him and her are lying. Where she told everybody she was Judge Peter's daughter. And she could control the drug cartel. He's a human trafficker over the Florida drug cartel. That's why she can control him, why she has men that work for him. Because that's the boss's kid. And she came up here to set up the Ohio part. To sell people down there. Well, out of her arrogance, her dad got arrested. That or did she set up her dad to get arrested so she could be the big cheese? You gotta think they're killers. Child molesters. Her group, she admitted to watching me in the bathroom, using the toilet. She admitted to, her group admitted to selling kiddie porn to my grandkids going potty and selling me and my family on porn sites. And she was having me drug being raped. So, yeah, Florida human trafficker, sweetie. And they did lie to the U.S. Marshals and Officer John or Mark. I would appreciate if you went and talked to them, because you guys always knew. And they told you they knew in 18. And it's documented in the case that they knew it was photoshopped and drugged. They flat out lied to the U.S. Marshals. And if you get my money for me, my family really needs it. I appreciate it.